Extra. Good morning. Welcome to Sandra P's GenXtra. Thank you for joining me for another morning live. I actually had a day off today again. So this enables me to be able to get online, speak with you guys for 30, you ladies, good morning, for 30 minutes or so about some of our topics that we've been talking about. Good morning. And everyone who comes in, I appreciate you coming in. And the people still in a row, let's see. There we go. The people that are watching this on Team Replay, I appreciate you, Team Replay. I've kept the low light. There's a blue light that I have on my ring light that works a lot better when I play my videos back. So that is going to be where we can actually see it a lot better. And another thing that I wanted to mention, 92%. We have been on our 92% rest period ever since the day after the election. November 6th of 2024, it's a universal term that the Black women that voted for everyone actually use. It's called the 92 percenters. I'm a member of the 92%. Most of the people that I know are a member of the 92%. The 8% we'll let go and let God bless them. But the others, I'm not concerned with at all. That's somebody else's business. I'm seeing a lot of TikToks, a lot of IG posts, Facebook, begging us, where are you? Get out there. Don't get out there, okay? We can work from home, from church, within our community. Put together a garden for yourself if you need to do that. Teach little kids to read at your church. Do some other event, take them out on an activity. Do not be out here in these streets, okay? I live in North Carolina. I'm in a blue city in a red state, but these protests are getting larger. There's activity going on. A lot of things have been rolled back. Protections that we had, we no longer have. They are waiting, allegedly, and in my opinion, this whole review, and it's just a review of a throwback scene from Real Housewives of Atlanta, but I'm speaking to my 92% and my sisters first. Continue to rest, and I'm saying we can do that from home. Because what they're waiting for, allegedly, and in my opinion, and this is educational purposes, I'm just making conversation, giving my opinion. What certain people are waiting for is for us to get out there in numbers, and they're going to test out these new rights that they have to actually brutalize us on the front lines. Because if we get out there, we're going to get out there on the front line, and they know it. And the 53% that's doing all that crying, the blue bracelets, and the 47%, that was scared to talk to their mothers, their sisters, their friends, their co-workers, to have them vote for everyone and not just for themselves and their husbands. Let them get out there and get out front, because there's a restraint being shown now that will not be shown if we get out there, if we jump out there and start talking. So I didn't mean to make the first 3 minutes political, but I just want to remind us, because I'm seeing a lot of posts trying to entice us out there. And I'm reminding us, we're still resting. We don't need to be out there. Let these other people get out there. We can do things from our home. Work on your herb garden, have a big backyard, different things you can do. Good morning, Cece. Good morning, Mama Bees. Mama, thank you for coming in. Thank you for the likes. Anyone that comes in and get in the bushes, thank you for the likes. This is an impromptu live. I'm going to try to get a half hour in because I have the day off again. So that worked out well. Where yesterday morning I was able to get a quick live in. And the Married to Medicine episode, season 11, episode 11, Trouble on the Sandbar, has been all over the streets. And a lot of times people are starting from the middle, or starting from what they just saw. And what I did yesterday, I did a throwback to the scene where Apollo went to Phaedra's house the day he was supposed to be turning himself into prison. And he ended up, they had a verbal confrontation. But I want to just pull back so that people can see that Dr. Heavenly knows that verbal confrontations are not the only thing that's possible when you play with people and when you bring certain people around and you don't know what their demeanor really is, how quickly it can change. And nothing ever happens until it actually happens. So this is so that the fire stays under Dr. Heavenly's feet. I'm going to start from a scene. This is season 6. This is from one of our fave producers. I'm saying that sarcastically, with the initial CK. It's Real Housewives of Atlanta. The episode was called Pillow Talk. And it is, I think it's episode season 6, episode 3. But Nene is leading the episode. There's a battery in Nene's back. Our favorite producer, CK, I think, is involved in this scene. So we're going to just play a little bit of that and then discuss. Okay. Let me take the floor. See. I don't think every dude really is into strip clubs. This is Christopher Williams speaking. Like me coming up like really impoverished in the Bronx, I just had a mental block with paying anything for it. Christopher and I wrote a record called Dance For Me, so I take care of that. Is she going to tuck before she dances? Because she looking like a man. I'm just asking the question. I think if a guy goes all the time, like he's always in the club, that's an issue. Let me take the floor, see? Let's keep it real up in here. When we was at the winery, Kenya, you had so much to say about Christopher and Natalie, and we're talking about relationships. We're here to help each other so that we can be around each other and move forward. So let's please keep it all the way real. Oh my God. Okay, what we're doing there, Nene is the host of the pajama party. A little backstory. We know now about call times. Kenya and Brandon show up an hour late, but now we can probably suspect that Kenya Moore was given a different call time. If you've watched Nene, Nene is an employee. Nene is Gen X. Nene is a woman of a certain age. I'm there with you, Nene. Nene wants to punch that clock, do her job, and go home. Nene has said that. If you are late on Nene, it's a personal offense to her. So giving Kenya Moore an hour late call time for her and Brandon to show up, they're doing that to antagonize Nene. And then also Nene has a battery in her back about something Kenya Moore has said behind the scenes about Christopher Williams and his common law wife. I'm only saying that because they're not married, and that's how she was referred to on the show. If you're in the bushes, please just press the like button. So we're going over an old scene from Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm tying it into the season 11, episode 11, Married to Medicine, Trouble on the Sandbar. And I'm pointing out why Dr. Heavenly knows that this wasn't just going to be verbal altercations or just funny little arguments. We're going to go back to the scene and why Nene was aggravated. Well, that is true. Kenya said that you said we were common law when you were on the road with her. We weren't married. We were common law. And I was just your girlfriend. And you told her that verbatim. Oh, we had this conversation. Sir, you must take your seat, please. No, he's not staying for this. Yeah, I just want to address you. For one, I don't know what medication you're on. I'm on the same medication as you, Chris. I'm no punk, and you're not going to talk to me crazy. And Natalie is not going to hide behind you and talk crazy. If you want a problem, you have a problem. First of all, what I said, to be clear, what I said is... No, what I said... No. I'm not backpedaling. Okay, so what is this? This is top pedaling. No. Okay, fair use. Fair use. Again, everyone that entered, thank you. Just press the like button. We're going over an old Real Housewives of Atlanta scene, which starts out at pajama party. Nene's prancing around, marching around. Nene, we know how she does. And they have set up something between Kenya. They focus on the single woman. Kenya's there with her friend Brandon. Brandon's in his silk pajamas. He's not there to fight either. But they have sicked Christopher Williams onto Kenya Moore. And Kenya said, I'm no punk. I'm going to defend myself. So we've seen this. This is familiar. This is the playbook. This is a certain executive producer that's active today and has perfected this, initial CK. And Dr. Heavenly is not innocent when she brings a person like Apollo into a scene where we're supposed to have verbal jousting. So we're going to get to where it's going to get a little heated. Now, remember, the prime people engaging verbally is Christopher Williams, who's standing over Kenya Moore when she was sitting. They asked him to sit down, and his girlfriend wife says he's going to stand for this. So she wants all the smoke. She wants to be seen. And Kenya is still defending herself verbally, and she qualified to do so. So we're going to continue. Put your hands I wrote back so you can see it, but did you see how quickly that escalated? Christopher Williams was already standing, so when Kenya stood up, it was a problem. But he's a man, he's already standing. She's standing up because she's tall. I'll give you the same height. But when Kenya stood up, it's a problem. She's supposed to sit there and be a victim. Brandon stands up to defend Kenya. I think he thought Christopher Williams was going to touch her. Maybe he was. So Brandon said, don't put your hands on her. And then in the light green shirt, this is a pajama party, is Apollo. He has a shorter haircut. So I wrote it back so we can go back again. And Peter is also involved in it because there was a strip club question and a strip club conversation. People started getting agitated because Kenya was speculating, where do people get money from to spend at a strip club? And Apollo had also indicated he puts down between $5,000 and $8,000 cash. And I'll remind you, from the scene yesterday where he was supposed to be turning himself in and he was looking for some of his items, the feds also watch these shows. So the feds were looking for cash, they were looking for dirt bikes, they were looking for certain cars. So they have been watching a lot of these shows.
Put your hands up. What are you doing? No, babe. Wait, take it out. Take it out. No. What are you doing? Apollo is out of his mind, beating Brandon as though he's in his jail cell fighting for his virginity. Calm down. I don't know what has gotten into Apollo, why he has gotten so physical with Brandon. He definitely has a temper, but he normally can keep it in check. Please stop talking. Okay. What is he coming after me? Don't even look back over. Let me go. Kenya made the wrong ass move, I promise you. You don't get up out your seat and charge nobody. But it's Brandon. Hey, Kenya! Hold on. Kenya, are you kidding me? Apollo came over to get it started. He wanted a piece of Brandon, and he got a piece of Brandon. There's the door. Where's Brandon? He's a door liar. Whoa. Where's Kenya? She's fine. That's so please. I'm not going to do nothing. Where's Brandon? See, you grabbed my arm. But what did I tell you? And then you want to do it and you got it out your goddamn seat.
You see them changing the narrative right in front of our face? Nene's my girl. Nene is wrong. Kenya stood up. She didn't charge anyone. Kenya didn't charge anyone. Christopher Williams was the one standing and being aggressive, mentioning her medication. And then she says that he touched her arm. Brandon is just her friend. He's a buffer. He's there in silk pajamas like everybody else. He's not there to fight. And where did Apollo come from? He jumped up. Next thing you know, he's beating Brandon down. Beating Brandon down, standing over him, beating him. Peter is involved. I saw Greg have somebody, and he's the oldest man in the group. He shuffled him out. Greg's old school. Rest in peace to Greg Leaks. But we're going to watch the rest of this scene and then talk about it and pull it up to modern day.
The blame. I don't control animals. Nene, you were the one who escalated everything. No, Nene, no. His hand on me. Christopher, he grabbed me. He snatched my arm. That's violent behavior. Punks and little bitches put their hands on women. You get out your damn seat. I'm trying to find you're not going to you a grown man. You got me in my book. I get it, Apollo, but we're not going to act like this. You got two sons. What was that about? She's fine. Your friend lied on my husband. That's what it was about. We are getting ready to leave. We need to leave. Apollo. What's about my husband? That's what it was all about. Apollo, let's go.
Okay. You see how quickly that escalated? And Apollo, I don't know what in the world was wrong with him. He was calm until he wasn't. And Nene trying to change the narrative and put it on Kenya for standing up when Christopher Williams, a grown man, was already standing up. And then Christopher Williams' girlfriend / wife, common law, she needed to be quiet. She was trying to be seen. Thank goodness they didn't come back. Thank goodness they didn't come back. I'm going to speak to everybody that came in. Thank you so much, CC. Mama B's my moderator. CC is right. The episode was a whole hot mess. It was. I've just watched a few scenes. I watched it at the time. I have to watch it again because that episode 11, season 11, episode 11, Married to Medicine, and Dr. Heavenly's people trying to defend her. Phaedra knew. I just want to remind people of what Apollo is capable of, has done in the past. We hear Phaedra at the end trying to calm him and remind him of what he has to lose. I feel like they were overseas. They were on a cash trip or something. Yumina is speaking to everyone. I'm glad you caught a live, Yumina. Thank you so much. I don't know if you've been in here when I solicited for mods. So if Yumina, if you're interested in that, just put a 1 in the chat and let me know. I'll be happy to do it because it's easier for me when I'm online. So yeah, we're going to go back to Cece said the episode was a hot mess. So that is something that was really quick. That popped off quickly. It was slow building because as I mentioned before, some of you came in. Now we know they do call times. Kenya Moore and Brandon's call time. I don't know if that was their call time, but they showed up an hour late. And Nene was already aggravated. And it was supposed to be Christopher Williams, his girlfriend or common law wife against Kenya Moore, and then Kenya defending herself. But Nene ends up yelling at the end about Kenya Moore getting up out of her seat, which if somebody is standing over me, I do stand. Anybody would, just to equal things out. But Christopher, to me, was way too aggressive in the way he was approaching Kenya. To be real, hello, thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming and catching a live. I appreciate it. We're dissecting an old scene and bringing up, this is the pajama party with Nene and Apollo. And then I want to show the scene where Phaedra is trying to calm and soothe Apollo. We hear Phaedra in the voice. I don't think I've ever heard Phaedra Parks yell. Those words are cutting, but I've never heard her yell. She don't do a lot of cussing either, but she get that point across.
We are getting ready to leave. We need to leave. Apollo. It wasn't about my husband. That's what it was all about. Apollo, let's go.
So he advanced on Brandon again, y'all. So that was really, who was that man? There was a man, thank God they didn't make it. There was everybody, Todd, Greg was trying to soothe things. Everybody was either standing in front of their wives or breaking up a fight. There's a man standing behind his wife. I want to see, do we know who that was? Some people just don't make the cut. He's in a white shirt. I want to see if y'all can see him. He's in a white shirt. He's standing behind his wife when everything popped off. Let me see. I might have to make that the thumbnail, y'all. I don't want to, oh, no, wait, maybe that's it. Oh, okay. All right, look for the guy in the white t-shirt.
I will not take the blame. I don't control animals. Nene, you were the one who escalated everything. No, Nene, no, his hand on me. Christopher, he grabbed me. He snatched my arm. That's violent behavior. Punks and little bitches put their hands on women. You got out your damn seat. I'm trying to find you. You're not going anywhere. You a grown man. You got give me my little. I get it, Apollo, but we're not gonna act like this. You got 2 sons. What was that about? Your friend lied on my husband. That's what it was about. We are getting ready to leave. We need to leave. Apollo. It wasn't about my husband. That's what it was all about. Apollo, let's go.
Phaedra almost had him calm down, and then he goes back over there. And that lady, I'm so glad she didn't come back, Christopher. He lied on my husband. Nobody cares about you and Christopher Williams. Now, he used to be fine back in the 90s. He was 90s fine. That's ridiculous. Thank you for entering the room. Thank you, everybody that has come in and also in the bushes. I don't know who that young man was. I'm glad he didn't get recalled back. Standing behind your wife in an altercation like that. But that's where sometimes it used to go. Nene and Kendra and Nene are reality school. Their reality show. They've been to reality show school and they know what to do. Nene was trying to change the narrative right then that it's Kenya's fault because she got up out of her seat. But we see the man standing over her. So Kenya's not wrong for that. I thought he tried to touch her arm. She says he grabbed her arm and she put that out there right then. So he had grabbed Kenya's arm. And then poor Brandon. Brandon, I remember that he was actually hurt because there was a part where Peter is either holding him or somehow have him down. And Paulo got a couple of punches, big punches in on Brandon. Brandon actually got hurt. And then toward the end, Brandon and Kenya kind of against everybody else, which is what these scenes do. They set one up, usually a single woman, to bear the brunt of verbal or sometimes physical use that's going to go on during this scene for the viewers' entertainment purposes. And sometimes it can be entertaining, but when it reaches physical, that's not entertaining to me, especially when you have people that are able to verbally joust and go back and forth. So there was no need for anybody to put their hands on anybody. And Apollo, we've seen him be charming. We've seen Phaedra be able to take him anywhere and things go well until they don't. We see her at the end trying to calm him down and trying to put the genie back in the bottle, but he's already upset. I was looking again, it looked like the guys in the black. I don't know if they were show security or again, if they were overseas and hotel security came up or even local police. So that's dangerous when you're dealing with someone who has a criminal past. First of all, certain countries, when you go in, they got their eyes on them anyway, if they even let them in. So that could have been a really big situation for their family. She mentions their two sons at the time. That's something that she always used to use. You got two sons, and sometimes that wouldn't even stop him. So again, we're going to see a lot more of these, the scene dissections, which I'm glad because Dr. Heavenly's fighting for her life. She's scrambling, and I want people to continue to talk about her. She's now, I think, switched the narrative to, she's trying to focus more on the Sweet Tea fight because she's been caught in a lie that Dr. Greg wanted to get King 90 days in jail or something. And it looks like, I don't know if Dr. Greg reported it or what happened with that, but Quad and King also did a lie where they confirmed that he might have went down and spoke to the police and they said it wasn't enough to get anything going. But we do know that Bravo TV is not allowing King to shoot scenes with everyone. So in a review I did last week, I was wondering what Quad meant when she said her support blanket has been removed. And so I think that's what she meant, that King's not going to be able to shoot with the other doctors and people that can have conversations and even argue without using their hands on people and running up on people. So Dr. Heavenly actually knows what she did when she did it, and she wanted the reaction. And there's a scene where in the water, after she jumped up, fell back down, and Sweet Tea was standing over her, we see Quad, Dr. Jackie, and Dr. Simone being very secure and smug and kind of laughing at the things that Heavenly has started up. So I'm curious. I wasn't going to watch the reunion, but since I reviewed the whole season, I'm going to watch the reunion, even though Phaedra did not attending the reunion. I think Andy Cohen's going to be upset about that. It's going to be probably watching paint dry, but Andy can be cutting in his questions. I think hopefully he'll hold Dr. Heavenly's feet to the fire, Quad's feet to the fire. I don't know if King might be able to come out on a segment. I hope Dr. G can keep the level down. Dr. G's on 10. I need him to be calm, speak calmly, not let Quad upset him, and just state his case. I hope Sweet Tea can speak clearly and do the same thing, because she doesn't seem to be media ready or media trained, and it just hurts my heart. I see a lot of the comments that people make about her, the names they call her. I want Sweet Tea to be able to defend herself clearly and smoothly because she's in the right. But on reality TV, being in the right doesn't always mean that you're going to have the audience on your side. There is a large group of people that actually like her, and an even larger group that are getting a little sick of Dr. Heavenly. But then Dr. Heavenly has a lot of people. She's been very smart and strategic over the years, growing her YouTube channel. I see her giving interviews, allowing mid-sized YouTube people to come on and talk. A lot of them won't criticize her. A lot of them will take up her fight and criticize the people that she doesn't like. And I see them kind of digging into Sweet Tea a little bit, even though the lady did nothing but marry her husband and then come on the show. So I'm watching what Dr. Heavenly is doing. I see the play behind the scenes. To be real, we spoke to when she came in. She spoke to everyone. CC spoke to Sharon Godbolt, Umina, to be real. CC, married to medicine is not a good look for Atlanta doctors. While it's not fair to paint everyone with a broad brush, we know how our community is judged. CC, that's right. And that's why I'm a season 1 viewer. I dropped off a lot after they did what they did with Mariah. I think it was season 6 or season 7. She was there, but she was being shown less and less. And they were using Quad and the other ladies to kind of squeeze her out of her own creation and project, even though we know Mariah Huck is still getting a check. She said at the time, Dr. Heavenly going to bring this show to the gutter. And Dr. Heavenly, 11 seasons in, she's almost accomplished maybe her goal of bringing the show to the gutter. And we can see earlier seasons, Dr. Heavenly's, oh, God bless you, God bless you. And she was funny and she was just doing different things. But now she's a lot different. She's more sinister. We saw her curse Sweet Tea out like a dog for asking Shireen, who invited you? Dr. Heavenly invited us. Why did you invite them? Don't ask me an MF and that. And she's cursing every other word. She reminds me of someone who actually does talk like that. 2 women. He has a large YouTube channel as well. And we know that Dr. Heavenly is friends with a lot of the people that kind of maneuver behind the scenes to make certain women look bad on reality TV. So I'm watching to see how far. It's not really Andy Cohen's. I don't know that he cares if Black women look badly on TV, but I hate that Dr. Heavenly is being allowed to do this. I think with the groundswell, we're going to be able to either get her paused or just get her up out of there. If she's not going to share her story and she's just going to focus on these other ladies and criticize them to the point where they're not going to be able to stay there, it's no longer fun. It's no longer fun to watch. This was a good episode, but a lot of the conflict was orchestrated by Dr. Heavenly, and then she was able to light that match and sit up and watch it. But it could have had a lot worse consequences than what actually happened. So we're going to see what's going to happen with Dr. Heavenly. You might have spoke to CC. Yeah, we're going to see what happens in this, because Dr. Heavenly is getting stale. It's gone on a lot too long. And we've seen enough of her and of Quad. Quad's not showing anything new. She got this new boyfriend and now she's supposed to be such good friends with Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone, but she's been dating this man a year, they say, and they've never met the man until the camera showed up in this season. So I still don't know if he's a made-for-TV boyfriend, if he is her real boyfriend. Her real friends probably had already met him. So they're still trying to orchestrate drama for us when I'd much rather watch the doctors, the real friends that are doctors, which Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie have been real friends. But then they had a couple of seasons where they had fallen out over Dr. Jackie's relationship with Dr. Heavenly. Dr. Heavenly had just started her YouTube channel, and she was also on Twitter being a mess. Cecil tweeted something to her, not to her, but he made a joke. And Dr. Heavenly took offense and started calling Cecil broke and disclosing that Simone had told Dr. Heavenly she wished Cecil would get a job. Because remember, Cecil used to be in real estate, and then he started starting up certain businesses, and then we would see them one season on the show, and we would come back and that business was no longer in, and Cecil was doing something else. So Dr. Heavenly has a track record of taking information that her friends bring to her and then spraying them in public. And she has done that to Simone. She's done it to Quad. She's done it, I feel like, a setup for Dr. Jackie when she left Dr. Jackie's statements up. And she has done that in the past. And they've gotten new people off the show. I mentioned the dentist, Dr. Alicia, Dr. Audra was not a doctor. I thought Audra was a doctor. Audra and her husband, Audra was actually an attorney. That was the one that they sicked Toya on. And Toya had her Detroit friend there, and the lady was trying to fight Audra because Audra had brought tax paperwork about Toya and Eugene's house. So we'll see what's going to happen. I was trying to get a good 30 minutes in. We're right at 29 minutes. Thank you for watching that. Just a short recap of a scene with Apollo and Phaedra, where we get to see their interaction. We get to see Phaedra at the end trying to calm a situation down that had been stirred up. Apollo wasn't even involved in it initially. And then we see him jumping up, pummeling Brandon. And Brandon is actually on his back and laid back. And everybody's dressed for a pajama party. And then at the end, you see Apollo shirtless. So this is a person who can start out calm, start out charming, start out able to be among other people and in a scene and even have a little bit of conflict. And then from out of nowhere, somebody could light a match and it can go somewhere that is dangerous. So Dr. Heavenly knows this and she likes this. And we're talking about this instead of talking about Dr. Damon Daddy. And either some people are saying snow bunnies, other people are saying something else. I saw, allegedly, and in my opinion, I saw a picture of Dr. Damon and one of his frat brothers. He had more affection and smile and just love in his face between he and his friend than he ever showed to Buddy on TV. So we don't know what Dr. Damon's into. I know Mariah said, you know, I've talked to people that Damon has been with. You're not what he likes. I know what he likes. And then the infamous, you want to see the receipts, baby girl? So we know that Mariah does have receipts. We know Dr. Damon asked her person to person not to go there, not to show them, and she decided not to. So I'm going to speak to the other people that came in. Hi, T. Lee. Thank you. Hello, you're late. It's just thank you. You're at work. It's just a short little 30-minute recap of an old scene from the pajama party that Nene had. And it started out with conflict between Christopher Williams and his wife and Kenya Moore. And then we see Apollo get activated, jump up and beat up poor Brandon, who did get hurt during that scene. So I appreciate your like. And then also, if you could just rewind back, it's just a quick little half hour. I appreciate you guys letting me do these little vignettes because right now that works well for me. And that's something, I'm not taking up a lot of your time. It's something that I can just jump in here and do. And I appreciate it. It's helping my channel grow. I'm welcoming my new subscribers. I love the people that get to come in here and get in the bushes. And then the ones that get in the chat and engage with me, I love so much, especially my regulars. Thank you so much. But I appreciate everybody. I'm going to end this because we're right at 32 minutes. Thank you so much for stopping by Sandra P's GenXtra. And I will see you on these YouTube streets and engage with you there. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Goodbye.